Did you check out the 30 for 30 romp through 1998 on Sunday night? Did you check out any of that?
I did not see it, Rich. Obviously, I was embedded deeply
Yes, you were.
in that season and all throughout. But I've seen a lot of the criticisms of it. If you're going to run B-roll from 2019 when you're doing a doc on 1998, you lose a lot of credibility. It's kind of like for me as a journalist, if you're writing a story and you spell a name wrong or you get a fact wrong, people tend to look at the whole thing askew. The whole product tends to get tainted. So those are, I call them mistakes, but editorial choices, I guess, that cast doubt on it. That's what I've seen so far. I will check it out at some point. I just didn't see it last night.
So then what is your takeaway from the 1998 season? Because a lot of the criticism last night, I missed it too, to be honest with you, was a sort of a hagiography of 98, not really delving too deep into what was potentially going on at the time. They did get into it in the aftermath, but I'm just wondering what you thought the story of 1998 really is.
Well, I do think when we were in the middle of it, it was incredible and it was fun and it was fascinating. And I think there was always, at least in my mind, a little bit of skepticism about how this was being done. I tell people all the time, I sat across from Mark and, before the 1998 season began at his home in Orange County. And I asked him point blank about using steroids. Of course, he denied it, but it wasn't like the issue wasn't there at all in 98 and we were ignorant to it. But, what was happening in front of us on the baseball field, the ballpark's opening up early for batting practice and having a lot of people show up to watch the guys take BP.
Mm-hmm.
It was, front and center on the nightly news back when people watched the nightly news, right, on the major networks. Baseball was on the nightly news every night. Neither one hit a home run. So, going through it was exciting and it was fun. I mean, there was a lot of archaeology that still had to be done with how they got to where they were. But in the moment, you can't disregard the fact that it was a fun ride.
I've been to that same house in Orange County, Tom, and I've asked the same question of Mark, too. And Mark's one of my favorite people I've ever met in this business. I mean,
that's a great guy.
I'm honestly one of the shot that I did see last night from the documentary that you saw from after he hit his 60-second home run. The two people he's hugging is his ex-wife and his ex-wife's new husband. I mean, it really was a unique setup, and his son was there, and they were all traveling around as he was trying to break the record, and then he finally did. He did it actually pretty fast, and he didn't. That could have been like a week, 10-day long journey, waiting for that home run to hit. And then, I asked him point blank on camera for ESPN2 as well, not ESPN2, but ESPN after he retired. When I received a fax from him to announce his retirement, which Tony La Russa to this day still holds against me.
It's all your fault.
Right, and that I sat across from him. Did you take steroid? And he just flat out said no, and it's just disappointing. It's like the whole "say it ain't so" from the original Natural, the book. It really is something to revisit again. But at the time, you're right. Like, nobody had their heads in the sand. But at the time, it was remarkable. It was one of the most remarkable things I've ever had a front row seat for. Tom.
Yeah, and I say this as part of the media here. As you know, Rich, a lot of people have said that people looked the other way, quote unquote. We didn't. Like you, we were asking the questions. I thought in a lot of ways we were very responsible by not just accusing people of doing something that we didn't have evidence of. And again, not looking the other way because we wanted to protect baseball in any way, but just being a journalist that you don't call out someone's authenticity and their reputation just on a rumor or a whim. You need evidence, and the fact that, we withheld those suspicions, I think, until we were able to confirm a lot of these things, I think was the right thing to do. In no way was it, we're just going to look the other way because it was so much fun. I think we were able to hold both thoughts in our heads. That it was amazing to watch, but there was something that we needed to get to the bottom of.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.